The emergence of Mikhail Gorbachev created the perfect opportunity to manipulate both the fear and fascination of that land behind the Iron Curtain.
The curiosity of having anything from, behind the other side of the Iron Curtain was kind of like memorabilia or something people wanted to have. We put it in red packaging, and the first box we actually set up the spelling of Tetris in Russian. We used a Soviet symbol as part of the Tetris name.
The marketing worked, and with great press behind it, Tetris was set to be a big hit. But all the attention had an unforeseen consequence that was about to jeopardize everything.
As we are about to launch the damn thing, we get a telex from a company called L.org, never heard of, in Russia, stating that we are illegally trying to launch Tetris, because that belongs to them, and they have never given us permission to do it.
L.org, short for Elektron Technica, was a government department established to deal with the foreign trade of software. Gorbachev was keen to create an export market to the West, but strictly under the control of the state.
Russian bureaucracy loves to have control on everything. If it is our, we wanna have everything properly and quiet and kind of perfectly done.
Robert Stein was summoned to Moscow.
There was always a long corridor, and first of all, they keep you waiting in the reception. Nobody talks to you, and all the chairs are uncomfortable, and then they lead you up, and they usher you into a room with a very long conference table. It was like you being questioned in a court, because they shown an absolute distrust of whatever I was saying. Why did we do what we done without their permission? And I tried to explain to them I didn't even know they existed, never mind about their permission.
Stein used all his powers of persuasion to get the Russians to sign a contract, and Tetris was cleared for sale. Within weeks, it catapulted into the bestseller lists, and in its first year, sold over 100,000 copies in America alone. But sales were limited to those that owned a personal computer. The real mass market lay elsewhere. Home video games played through console machines that plugged directly into the TV and were operated with a remote controller. In 1988, this was a multi-billion-dollar industry. Maxwell's company Mirrorsoft saw an opportunity and approached publisher Atari about creating a home video version of Tetris.
They held the rights to the game, as far as I knew at that moment. And they approached me to publish it for game consoles. So I sort of took it to committee at Atari Games, and everybody was crazy about it.
The PC version of Tetris was ideally suited to adapting for a video game. Atari struck a deal and set about enhancing its visual appeal.
I felt the puzzle pieces should be 3D. So our engineers turned them into 3D sort of shaded things. I thought it looked much more polished and much less sort of PC game-ish. A lot of little things that, just the way they're laid out on the screen made the game more exciting. From a commercial point of view, it was also exciting because the profit potential was enormous.
By the middle of 1988, Alexey Pajitnov's simple game was an extremely valuable asset, set to make millions for companies in Europe and North America. But there was one important market that remained untapped. Japan not only had a burgeoning consumer electronics industry, but also a long tradition of puzzle games. Henk Rogers was a young entrepreneur who traveled the world looking for games to produce for the Japanese market.